Hello guys, another me, another you, another neighborhood. We are in Yangjae-dong, Seocho-gu. So I have a few friends living in Yangjae-dong and they all love to come out here to Yangjae Chun. And it's crazy, I saw a few photos online showing that along the stream there was a shanty town. There were many shanty houses. They have all disappeared and they restored the stream. It was probably a little bit dirty and now not anymore. And it got them the Korea Urban Landscape Award in 2025. Lots of fish, yeah, a great stream to have a nice walk with your dog, do some exercises, or like me, be on a bike. So it's a good start of Yangjae-dong. And now let's go into the neighborhood because I want to show you all the places that you must visit when you come to this side of the city in Seocho-gu. Let's do it. Okay, so I'm a little bit confused because online it says Salon the Garden is the part that got the award. So I'm not sure if the entire river or the entire stream got the award or just the part that is next to the stream here with all the trees. I think it's this part. To be honest with you, it's quite nice because they have lots of benches. I love that about this. This is what we need. Space to sit somewhere outside in the shadow of the trees. So the stream is over there, then you have this forest road next to the stream, and then next to this road you have lots of cafes or restaurants. And I was like, hey, it's nice, you can sit down here. And then I saw this sign. So apparently, if you order some wine at the Wine Bar Fusion restaurant, and maybe something to eat, you can sit over here in the forest. How nice is that?
While going deeper into Yangjae-dong, I kept noticing the words Maljukgeori everywhere. It got me curious. I vaguely remember an old Korean action drama with the same name, something about a violent high school around here. But there has to be more to this name than that.
혹시 여기 왜 말죽거리라고 해요?
여기요?
네.
옛날에 말을 밥을 줬대요. 말 타고 다니잖아요.
네.
근데 이제 여기서 말 밥을 두고 하루씩 묵어가는 길이에요.
조선시대?
네.
Aha. So if you go to Yangjae Station, you see Maljukgeori written everywhere. Back when Korea was the Joseon dynasty, this was a place where travelers to Gyeongsan-do and other places in the country would stop and have a rest and feed their horses. So that's why it's nicknamed Maljukgeori. So Mal, horse, juk, the rice porridge that they would give to the horses, and Gori is street, so Maljukgeori. So that looks like the official entrance, that gate over there. And if you're still uncertain, they made sure they painted the name Maljukgeori a dozen times on the ground throughout the entire street. There's never an iGoBart video without a rooftop, guys. We're on top of Yangjae-sijang, an old building. I don't know how old it is, but you can see Maljukgeori right underneath us. A lot of office workers, they come out for coffee, maybe quick lunch because it's around lunchtime now. And then this street is apparently really popular for some good food. Chokbal, I've seen a lot of chokbal restaurants here. I'm not in the mood for pork feet today. Another fun story. We're now in Bangbari village. It's a small, secluded, mostly red brick building, high-end residential village of Yangjae-dong. Let's have a look around, because there was one particular person, an historical figure that most people know, who wanted to live here after his retirement, but couldn't. He couldn't. Look at this. So it was former President Chun Du-hwan who wanted to live here after his retirement. And then the locals were like, no, it's not gonna happen. So it didn't happen, but I must tell you guys that this is a really nice place. It feels like a neighborhood on its own, not necessarily part of Yangjae. Maybe the people living here feel exactly the same, but if you're into architecture, there's some pretty beautiful, like nice red brick villas here and lots of beautiful, expensive cars. What is interesting to me is that why it feels so secluded is because of these offices here at the edge. So when you're on the bigger road behind there, you would never know or never guess that there's a Bangbari village here with lots of beautiful red brick villa buildings. And also here, again, it's so beautiful. Yangjae has so much green. Yeah, check this out. You're a beauty, you're very cute. I'm a nature guy, guys. This makes me happy because it's a park of a decent size, and you don't really have to stay on the trails. They allow you to walk through all the trees, and all of a sudden you're among so many squirrels. At least I am. Look at this, they're so... Like at some point earlier I was calling with someone, there were 6 squirrels around me. Here, one in front of me again. Hey! Wow, he's so close. Hey!
Welcome to yet another green space in Yangjae, the Maeheon Citizen Forest. And what a peaceful place it is. The number of squirrels should tell you enough already. However, this park has a dark corner. A corner I've been wanting to see for a long time.
If you look at the map, the park looks like a huge triangle. And in order to find the monuments, you have to go to the tip of the triangle. And that's where we are now. It's a big memorial for Korean Air Flight 858 that exploded mid-air and killed everyone that was inside the plane. 113 people died in Flight 858. And it happened in 1987. North Korea sent 2 spies to place a bomb in this plane. And it worked. It exploded, everyone died. And what North Korea wanted to achieve, well, first of all, to destabilize the Korean government then, but also to boycott the Summer Olympics that were about to happen the next year, in 1988, in Seoul. Really sad. So when they caught the 2 spies, they tried to commit suicide. One did so successfully and the other didn't. She survived. Obviously, she was extradited to South Korea, ended up in prison, and was later pardoned by the South Korean president because he believed that she was brainwashed by North Korea, and now she is still alive. She lives somewhere in Korea in secret, and she got married to a South Korean intelligence agent. Up to the next monument. This one is also very sad. This one happened in 1995. The Sampoong department store collapsed. A whole department store collapsed and 502 people died and over 900 got injured. This is not where it happened. This is not where it happened. It happened somewhere in Seocho-gu. Here again, all the names of the victims. 502 names. Can you imagine just 502 people gone like that?
Let's not kill the mood completely and go to Korea's largest flower market, a stone's throw away from the park and monuments.
The largest flower market of Korea. I think in that building with all these colors, that's where the auction happens in the morning. The floristas, they come here and buy the prettiest flowers for the best prices. It's not exactly the place where I feel completely comfortable. But on the other hand, maybe I should, because I'm from the Netherlands and one of our biggest export products are flowers. Yeah, the place is indeed really big. This is just one of the greenhouses. But then if you walk out on the back side, there's another one. And who knows, maybe behind there's another one. Let's have a look.
The market offers both wholesale and retail options with potted plants, artificial flowers, gardening supplies, trees and a whole lot more.
이런 애들 쉬운데 파키랑.
그거 귀엽지?
응.
어.
얘는 물을
네.
3주에 한 3주.
아, 3주 얼마예요?
요거 3만 원.
아, 3만 원? 아, 양재동 어때요?
양재동?
네.
좋죠.
좋아요?
네. 좋은가요? 제철역 가깝고.
네.
강남역 놀러가기 거기 뭐야 쉬운 지하철가 역 교통편이 편하니까.
네, 안녕히 계세요. 네. Actually, really pretty plants for in the living room. It's a gift for the wife. Wife, happy life, as people say. It's fun if you're into flowers, if you're into plants, if you want to buy anything for your house. Yeah, it's a good place to come here. And it's huge. There's going to be enough options. In the Maeheon Citizen Park, there's a huge statue of Yun Bong-gil, a patriot, a Korean patriot, an independence fighter. He exiled to Shanghai, China, where during a ceremony, a Japanese ceremony, he threw a bomb at military officials, military Japanese officials, and killed several and injured several, you know, to fight, to resist against Japanese occupation. And this is the man. And they built a memorial in his name right next to it. 저도 가봤어요. 상하이에서.
아, 그래요?
네. 5년 전에. 광복절 때. 네. 아니에요. 윤봉길보다 아니에요. And here on the right, so the east wing, so to say, there is his story. Where he was born, where he lived, what he did. And after he threw the bomb, he was arrested. And not too much later, he was executed. So he's a martyr. I was like constantly thinking why everything here is called Maeheon. But here it says, when Yun Bong-gil graduated from Seoul at the age of 19, his teacher Song Ju-rok gave him the pen name Maeheon, so it was his pen name. That's why. So hence the park is called Maeheon Citizens Park. Makes sense now.
I have a feeling Yangjae-dong is a pleasant place to live with enough green, history and transportation. I love the stream, the citizen forest, flower market and the Maljukgeori story. Thank you for watching. Howdo.
That concludes Yangjae-dong. So if you want to do something else other than Hongdae, Gangnam, Seongsu and all those other famous places, you like greenery, you like monuments, here and there some stories, probably a lot of good restaurants, then Yangjae-dong may be the place for you. It definitely looks like a good place to live. But that's it for today. We'll see you in the next video. Howdo.